They say Nyame, the sky god, kept all the world's stories locked inside a golden box high above the clouds, so high no human or beast could ever reach it. For years, the earth below had no tales to tell, but one day, a small spider, not bigger than your thumb, decided he would change that. Long, long ago, in the land of Ghana, before the sun told time with shadows and the moon whispered secrets to the sleeping earth, stories belonged to Nyame, the sky god. He gathered them in a gleaming golden box far above the clouds, sharing them with no one. The world was quiet then, only the rattles of leaves and call of birds and the whisper of wind. There were no fireside tales to make people laugh, no fables to teach lessons, no myths to pass from one generation to the other. In a small village beneath the sprawling green canopy of the rainforest lived Anansi. He was no ordinary spider, small in size but vast in cunning. His bright eyes sparkled with mischief, and his mind was always spinning faster than his webs. Anansi loved the idea of stories. He believed they carried wisdom, joy, and magic, and he wanted them for everyone. One sweltering afternoon, as he spun a silken thread between two leaves, a daring thought came to him. Why should Nyami keep all the stories for himself? Stories are meant to be told, to dance on every tongue, to fly from village to village. With that, he decided he will go to the sky god and ask for them. Anansi set through the thick forest, crossed the rushing streams, and climbed the towering mountain that reached into the clouds. Wind howled around him, but he pressed on until he stood before Nyame himself, a figure of radiant light and thunderous voice. Anansi, though small, spoke clearly. Great Nyame, I ask for your stories, not for myself alone, but for all. Let them bring laughter, teach lessons, and keep our memories alive. Nyami studied the little spider for a long moment. Then, with a smile of amusement, he said, your wish is bold, Anansi. I will give you the stories, but only if you complete three impossible tasks. Bring me Onini the python, who can stretch across the widest river, Nyame declared. Anansi climbed down from the clouds and went straight to his wife Aso for help. Together they devised the plan. At the river bank, Anansi held two long palm reps. Onini, he called. People argue in my village. Some say you are longer than this rib. Others say you are longer than that one. Which one is true? The proud Python hissed. I am longer than both combined. Prove it, Anansi challenged. Onini stretched himself between the ribs, and in a flash, Aso hidden nearby tied him tightly with a vine. Bound and unable to move, Onini was carried up the mountain to Nyame. Bring me Osebo, the leopard, so fierce and stealthy no one can catch him, Nyame said. Anansi dug a deep pit where Osebo often prowled, covering it with branches and leaves. He tied a goat nearby as bait. The leopard crept closer, eyes fixed on the goat, but the ground gave away, and he tumbled into the trap. Anansi made a strong rope, pulled Osebo out, and hauled him to Nyame. Nyame's voice rumbled, the last and the hardest. Bring me Motia, the fairy no one has ever caught. Anansi thought and thought. Then, with a careful hand, he carved a wooden door, coated it with sticky tree sap, and placed it near a gum tree with a bowl of sweet mashed yams. Motia, curious, came to investigate. Hello, she said to the door. It did not answer. Annoyed, she slapped it, and her hand stuck. She struck with the other, stuck again. She kicked, both feet stuck. Anansi stepped from the hiding, lifted the trap fairy, and carried her to Nyame. Nyame looked at Anansi, the python, and leopard, and the fairy. Slowly, a genuine smile spread across his face. Anansi, you have done what seems impossible, not with strength, but with cleverness and patience. The stories are all yours. Share them with the world. Anansi took the golden box and descended from the sky. When he opened it, stories poured out like rain, drifting across the land. They filled homes, markets, and forests with laughter, wisdom, and wonder. And from that day forward, all tales were called Anansi stories. Anansi Sem, a reminder that even the smallest among us can change the world with a quick mind and a brave heart.